coronavirus vaccine are being distributed around the country today. Fox's Robert Sherman is live now in Atlanta, Georgia, to bring us the very latest. Hi, Robert.
Hey there, Daytona, and that's right. Frontline healthcare workers and residents of long-term care facilities are the first in line in order to receive the coronavirus vaccine, and medical officials are hopeful that this point marks the beginning of the end of the pandemic.
Wow.
A round of applause for frontline healthcare workers at MedStar Georgetown University Hospital in D.C., some of the first people in the nation to get the coronavirus vaccine.
I wonder if I could barely feel it.
Secretary of Health and Human Services Alex Azar took it in firsthand.
What a moment. What a moment for me to be able to be here with our heroic frontline healthcare workers who are now going to be protected as a result of President Trump's Operation Warp Speed.
Down in Pompano Beach, Florida, Vera Leap and 90 of her fellow assisted living facility residents took the shot as well.
I hope it'll keep me from getting COVID.
Pfizer's vaccine is now being distributed after its emergency use authorization request was approved by the FDA last week, first going to medical workers and long-term care facility residents. Moderna's vaccine will go before an FDA advisory committee Thursday and could potentially be approved later this week.
20 million Americans should be vaccinated by the end of just this year. We'll have up to 50 million by the end of January, 100 million shots in arms between first and booster by the end of February.
Still, cases continue to climb, reaching nearly 17 million. Deaths now exceed 300,000. Dozens of cities and states are putting new restrictions in place to help stop the spread, shuttering many small businesses in states like California, Illinois, and Michigan. And with Christmas over a week away, medical officials are asking Americans to not travel for the holidays, fearing that Christmas gatherings will lead to a, quote, catastrophic spread of the virus. Daytona?
Yeah, Robert, obviously these are big movements coming from Pfizer and Moderna, but let's talk about what this is going to look like state by state. You know, how is the vaccine going to be distributed? Who comes next? Do we know that yet?
We're still waiting for all that to be made official, and I think it's important to remember as well is that the needs of every state are different. They're not the same, going from state to state. So I mean, you look at states such as Florida, for example, and even Arizona, where you all are right now. There's such a large senior citizen population over in both of those states. We know that that is a key concern for state officials in both Arizona and Florida. But conversely, you have different needs for other states. So it's going to be interesting to see over the next couple of weeks as to how that process comes about and what those conversations look like. But we do know, at this point, there was a reason that long-term care facility residents and frontline healthcare workers were put at the top of the list. But then where do you go from there? I mean, there's definitely a lot of people who are putting themselves into harm's way every single day, and it's that's going to be the next conversation as to who all is going to be in that next group of folks, and then going down the list. But medical officials feel optimistic that they're going to be able to get tens of millions of people vaccinated just in the span of the next couple of months. It's all just a matter of who precisely.
Yeah, optimistic is a really great word. I mean, we've seen these press conferences as governors kind of virtually witness those first vaccines being given to frontline workers. Are you hearing from any frontline workers out there or people just out and about? How is everyone feeling with this, obviously, kind of step forward in the pandemic, really?
We've heard from some nurses, especially in long-term care facilities, hearing concerns from some residents, asking questions about the vaccines. Mm-hmm. And one woman was telling us, that has been a challenge, she told Fox News that she's been a longtime believer in vaccines, and that, convincing people that this is safe, this is okay, has been an unusual and unexpected challenge. Just a week and a half or so ago, the Pew Research Institute came out with numbers that suggested that 60% of Americans say that they will take the vaccine, which is a much better number than it was before. 60% still isn't 100%. So that will be another conversation and another key issue of contention to follow over the next couple of weeks as to how does optimism and confidence in the American public change as the vaccines become more available, more get approved by the FDA, and get pushed out into the public sphere a bit more.
Sure. You know, even though it might be a while until people like you and myself get the vaccine because so many people need it in front of us. Interesting information. The latest on these COVID-19 vaccines. I'm sure we'll be following this for the rest of the week. That's Robert Sherman out in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Daytona.
And again, you're watching News Now from Fox, giving you all the latest COVID-19 news. Before we were bringing you Governor Ducey in Arizona, speaking about the latest COVID-19 cases, also about vaccinations. You know, it's interesting because cases are rising in Arizona, but Ducey isn't really putting that many restrictions into place. So we'll listen in to see if he does intend to